Hey, my name's Ray Shefsky, and I sold cars for 43 years. And well, Zach and I are going to share with you today how to make sure you get that great deal at the end of the year. Are you ready to get started?
All right, Dad, we've made a bunch of videos recently talking about how the end of the year is the best time to buy a car. And in 2025, it is officially a buyer's market for both new and used vehicles. This is going to be a kind of boring video, but if you're actually going to buy a car sometime soon, you need to watch it. Dad, walk us through step by step how to get the best deal at the end of the year for a new and used vehicle. Let's start here, Pops. You got to do your research beforehand to figure out what you can afford. You shouldn't just walk into a dealership, right?
Bingo. You need to know what it is that you can afford on a monthly basis and what cars, what price range of cars will fit into that for you. There is no sense in going into a car dealership if you have no idea as to what cars are actually going to fit into that budget. So you need to get pre-approved for a car loan at a credit union or a bank, just so you have some idea as to how much you can finance that will fall into your monthly budget that works. And then you need to research the cars that will fit that budget. And once you've done some research and you have a better understanding of what local market conditions are, then you can start contacting dealers.
Now, Dad, you just said monthly budget there. I want to be very clear. We're going to talk about out the door price here in a second. And everyone knows that at the CarEdge channel, all we preach is out the door price, not monthly payment, because dealerships are trained to kind of do this Foursquare thing when it comes to monthly payment and ultimately obfuscate information, make more money off of you, and keep you in the dark. So we always say at the dealership, you don't talk about monthly payment. But for most people, Dad, most people finance or lease their vehicle purchase. They don't pay cash. So to your point, you have to know what you're comfortable spending on a monthly budget basis. And then obviously we're going to convert that over to what's an appropriate out the door price, the dealer discount, no add-ons, et cetera, et cetera. It sounds like I'm foreshadowing to step two. Let's talk about step two. I've landed on the vehicle I'm interested in. What do I do next? Whether it's new or used, I'm again going to say I don't go to the car dealership, correct?
You don't go to the car dealership. You contact the car dealership. You email, you text, you call, but you don't show up yet. You work them for an out the door price before you ever get there. So whatever you're looking at, you're going to insist from the dealer that they provide you with a total breakdown of all costs and all fees. So you know what that bottom line will be, the total out the door price that you would have to write a check for if you were actually writing that check.
We'll put a couple examples on the screen here. Out the door prices are something that many of you know, but some of you may not be familiar with. It is, to my dad's point, the selling price of the vehicle plus any additional dealer fees or add-on products, and then your taxes and your local registration, things like that. That gets you to a bottom line number. If it is taxable on that worksheet, it is negotiable. But to my dad's point, you do not go to the dealership to secure this information. All of this can be done virtually or over the phone. Now, a couple resources to point you towards. One, we have email templates back on caredge.com. We'll put the link down in the description, or you can just go to caredge.com/templates, and that will give you the email template that you can use to reach out to a dealership. Two, if you don't want to do the negotiating yourself, we built an AI negotiator earlier this year. You can pay for CarEdge Pro and have the AI negotiator reach out to any dealership you'd like and secure an out the door price for you and then negotiate that out the door price. We're going to talk about negotiation as step 3 here in a second. Or third, Dad, you can hire a concierge or a car broker, something like that. We offer a service at caredge.com, but many others do this as well. Those are all of your options. Go use the free email templates at a minimum to make sure that you're using the right language when you request this information. So you do not go to the dealership, because the dealership, once you're there, they're going to try and take your keys, keep you there, try and finagle the numbers. Before you go, you get the numbers, you make sure that they make sense. And step 3 to this, Dad, would be that you contact multiple dealerships for similar vehicles, and you ultimately get out the door price quotes from each of them so you can compare apples to apples. Whether this is new or used, this is the tactic you should use as step 3 before you ultimately choose who you're going to purchase a vehicle from, correct?
Exactly. And once you start getting those out the door price quotes from the dealers, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy to get that, because they're going to do their best not to want to give you that information. Their fear is that if they share that information with you, you're just going to take that information and go to another dealer and have them beat the price. But you will eventually find dealers that will give you that information. Remember, that's a starting point. That is their first proposal to you. Your job now, once you start getting those out the door quotes, is to negotiate a lower out the door quote. There is always room for negotiation at most dealerships. Some dealerships are one price stores and they do not negotiate at all. Carvana, CarMax, others. But most stores will negotiate with you. So know that that first out the door quote is not the last out the door quote. You're going to negotiate a lower total price.
Pops, there's a major issue out there. There are all sorts of people brokering your data, and anyone can buy it. Whether it's your social security number, your home address, what school you went to, all that information and so much more is being sold online to marketers and scammers. That's bad.
Absolutely. And the way to prevent that is to use Delete Me. Delete Me will help take your information away from all those brokers so that they can't sell it to the scammers out there.
Look at you, Pops. You sound like a Delete Me user yourself. I know I use Delete Me, and hundreds of my records have been scraped off of the internet, getting that information out of the hands of those scammers, marketers, and everything in between. We have a special offer for our CarEdge community, 20% off when you sign up with the link joindeleteme.com/CarEdge. Top of the description will be that link, Dad. We both use Delete Me. We enjoy using Delete Me. I like the monthly reports that show me all my data being removed from the internet. We thank Delete Me for sponsoring our channel.
One day you might not even see me here.
Now, while you're doing step 3 here, there are a couple other steps that are, choose your own adventure. But if this applies to you, you have to do it. One is most people have a vehicle that they're going to trade in or sell. This is the point in time where you start to do your research on how much can I sell my vehicle for? And no, I'm not talking about going and getting a KBB value. Quite frankly, that number is a bit of BS. Instead, what I'm talking about is you do go to Carvana, CarMax. You go all over the internet. We have it back at caredge.com/sell as well. And you start to get cash offers for your vehicle. That's going to be leverage when you inevitably bring up your trade into the dealership. But you treat it as a separate transaction until you get a good out the door price that you're satisfied with. You do not talk about your trade-in, but you're going to start to gather that knowledge. Also, additionally, Dad, most people are going to either finance or lease their vehicle. And so this would be the point where you need to get a pre-approval from your credit union. You do not rely solely on the dealership to get you the best interest rate. They make a ton of money on the finance portion of a car deal. And so this is the part of the process where I would also encourage you to start to get those pre-approvals. So want to call that out, Dad. Again, step 1 in this process as we head to year end to get the best car deal is do your research, figure out what fits for you, go do test drives, get satisfied knowing which vehicle you're going to move forward with. Number 2 is now you're going to contact multiple dealerships requesting the out the door price. Number 3 is we're negotiating. We're pitting dealer against dealer to get the best deal. And in parallel, if I have a trade-in, I'm starting to get my leverage there. And if I'm going to finance, I'm getting my pre-approval. Do you agree with those steps, Pops?
I think you are right on.
Okay, so now, Dad, let's talk about once I've gotten a dealership to get me an out-the-door price that I am satisfied with. And if you're concerned about what is a fair price to pay for a vehicle, use the community forum, caredge.com/community, and you can get some input from other community members. But once I've got a dealership, Dad, to a price I'm satisfied with, this is when I'm actually going to book that appointment and go in, correct? Or I should say, if I'm going to purchase from out of state or somewhere else where maybe I'm traveling to get it or I'm organizing shipping, but like now I'm ready to actually go. And this is when the transaction gets to the back end, the finance office, and I have that extra leverage from my pre-approval.
Exactly. Once you've agreed to a number, now if there is a trade-in, you can let the dealership know that you have a vehicle that you would consider trading if they can give you an appropriate offer. Oh, and by the way, I've done my research. I have gotten offers for my vehicle. Here are the offers that I've gotten. I would expect you to at least meet or beat these offers if you would like to trade my car. And if not, I will sell it separately. And so once you've come to an agreement on the trade, then the discussion can become, okay, let's talk about my monthly payment. What type of interest rate can the dealer provide for you? If there's special interest rates from the manufacturer that you might qualify for, take advantage of those. If there are special rebates that you might qualify for, first responder, active or retired military, things of that nature, take advantage of those as well. Recent college graduate. There are all types of like hidden rebates that are available that don't cost the dealership a dime. Ask about those. And then once you start talking to the finance manager, then you can narrow down exactly what that payment should be. And you could either agree or turn down any protection packages that the finance office might offer you. as to whether or not you see value in them.
Not only if you see value in them, but you can also obviously get out of the monthly payment discussion and go back to what is the actual total cost of that extended warranty you're offering to me, and cross shop it. Go to caredge.com/warranty, get a competitive quote, use that as leverage at the dealership. If it is taxable, it is negotiable, and that includes the finance office. But that kind of concludes the car buying process here. Once you're in the finance office, you're signing the dotted lines, you're making sure you understand everything. You have done all of your due diligence up until this point. You know you've gotten a fair deal. And I would just like to comment here, Dad, the timeline to do something like this. We're not talking about doing all of this in one afternoon. Unfortunately, buying a car is quite a bit of work. It doesn't have to be. You can obviously go to Carvana or CarMax and quite frankly overpay a little bit, but you're getting convenience. So you're paying for that convenience. I want to be very clear. If you're going to go to a traditional franchise car dealership, or you're going to go to an independent car dealership that does negotiate, there's a lot of work to be done here. So Dad, what's your recommendation? If I want to buy a car, do I start it a week before, 2 weeks before, a month before? When do I start the process?
I think 2 to 3 weeks before you start. You start by going to dealerships and saying, I'm not interested in buying anything today. I just need to drive vehicles today. These are the vehicles of this brand that I need to drive, and here are the vehicles of other brands that I'm going to drive. And I can't make any decisions until I've done that. So let the salesperson know up front what you're there for. That starts the process. Then you do the emails, then you do the negotiations. The whole thing could end up taking 2 to 3 weeks.
So if you're watching this video right now, you're in luck, because the end of the year is the best time to buy a new or used vehicle. Take advantage of that. And obviously, if we can help you, we're here both on the CarEdge YouTube channel, over at CarEdge Live on YouTube as well, and caredge.com. We're here to help folks. Hopefully this is valuable. Dad, thanks for breaking it down as always.
My pleasure.